Welcome to the Gentleman's Guide to Vampires, and specifically the character of Rudy. Yes, a controversial 5th edition character for Vampire the Masquerade, a character that I wrote. And why am I making a video about Rudy? And why is this video called In Defense of Rudy? Writers aren't supposed to defend or explain their work, I know, that's what you're saying right now. Well, it has been requested. It was requested by someone who wishes to remain nameless, so I'm going to call you Rudy. This is a first. I have never once had someone purchase a copy of, in this case, The World Below in hard copy, and as you know, if you pick up a copy of The World Below in hardcover, you can then contact me through MatthewDawkins.com and request I make a video, which is what I'm doing right now. If you pick up a copy of The World Below, whether from DriveThruRPG or BackerKit, and contact me through MatthewDawkins.com. Links to all of those are in the video description below. You can request a video. As I put it, buy an RPG, get a video for free. And this is a first, as I say, because it's the first time I received a video request from someone who seems genuinely angry at me. They entered my inbox in a way to make a demand. And I don't think they thought I would actually do it. So I am, as you've requested, not naming you in a video, but your request was, how can you defend the bullshit that is the Gangrel Rudy in V5? Well, here we go. I will defend the bullshit that is Rudy in V5. Thank you so much for purchasing The World Below. I get royalties from every purchase, so yeah, as I say, pick up a copy and send me a video request. Who is Rudy? Well, when writing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, co-writing it, it was my job to come up with the signature characters for 5th edition. I had some guidelines for some clans, but most of them were up to me. At the time, signature characters were going to be very important for V5, but a lot changed in flux with the core book and Camarilla and Anarch books. It was a chaotic development schedule, shall we say, as has been covered in other videos. And so I came up with some characters. Some characters remained the same as previous editions. Theo Bell was still the archetypal Brujah, but we needed a new Ventru due to Jorn Peterzoon no longer being quite as appropriate and enjoyed as he was in previous editions. So I came up with the new Ventru, but I also came up with the new Gangrel in the form of Rudy. Rudy is a character with not a little controversy surrounding him. I have probably been asked more about this character than Beckett in Vampire the Masquerade. I didn't come up with Beckett, but Beckett's a very popular in Vampire, and also a Gangrel for that matter. And the reason people question me about Rudy and his creation is because he seems to be a combination of things that those people don't like, or they find inexplicably joined. And what's more, it shocks them, it surprises them, it makes them think that I was pursuing some kind of political agenda by creating him. So let's get to the point, shall we? Rudy, as a Gangrel, is a campaigner. He is a protest leader, a movement leader. He is an anarch, but in the mortal world, he is a socialist, and he campaigns for various social justice causes. Rudy is a black man. Rudy is a gay black man, and Rudy is also a Muslim. Now, the complaint that tends to get levelled at me is all these things combined together make for an unbelievable Mary Sue, white knight, libtard, and other such words that get thrown around at me. And what I tend to go back to them with is, it may surprise you to learn that Rudy is based loosely on someone I know in the real world who participates in a great deal of protest movements. He actually travels across the country because he finds a great deal of fun. This is his idea of a weekend out. I'll go to see, I'd like to see comedy or something like that, live entertainment. He travels to different cities. If there's a march going on, he participates in them. He will bring, he'll stock up on water and juice and be the medic and so on. He likes all that stuff. He is a protester by leisure, and that is not his job. As a job, he is a solicitor. And he is someone who happens to also, would you believe it, be gay, black, and a Muslim, because those things can exist in the same world. Now, here's my talking down to you moment, and I apologise for needing to do it. I think people see those 3 headlines on Rudy and think, though, that's just impossible, or you're really swinging for the fences there with that concept. Some people don't believe, I think, that gay black men exist. Other people don't believe that that black Muslims exist, maybe, or they don't believe that gay Muslims exist. It's a triforce of identities, and they certainly don't believe that you could be a black Muslim who happens to be gay. Well, have I got news for you, because the world is a very colourful place. It is a quilt, if you don't want it to be a tapestry or a big old gumbo. It is a quilt of many, many different colours of people with very different persuasions in life. Some of which they choose, some of which are put upon them, some of which they are born with. And in this case, this character is based on a person, and very based conceptually, because I thought to myself, what kind of Gangrel do I want? So let's get back to the root. Where did Rudy come from? Well, yes, I had this person I knew, but I didn't immediately go to them. What I wanted, knowing that the Gangrel were going to be an anarch clan in V5 and that Theo Bell didn't fit the bill for this, was an anarch who would be a protester, would be a social movement leader, because those things exist in the 21st century. And someone who, well, and when I was thinking of that, I immediately thought of the person I know, and that is basically where the idea came from. Now, people will say, well, it makes the anarchs too much good guys, that Rudy is some kind of white knight hero. And I think in that case, it's a lack of critical reading and failure to pick up on subtext. I know authors aren't supposed to say things like this, are they? But Rudy is not supposed to be a hero. Rudy is not supposed to be whiter than white, to put it maybe wrongly. Rudy is a parasite. Rudy is a tick that latches on to the movement that moves around him. They are his herd. If Rudy has a character sheet, he has 5 dots in herd, because Rudy doesn't go around breaking into penthouses and taking out CEOs just to get a drink. He drinks from his fellow protesters. Maybe he feels a little guilt about it, but more likely Rudy justifies what he's doing as necessary for the causes he believes in. And there's some people who say that vampires shouldn't believe in mortal causes. Why would vampires care about Black Lives Matter? Why would mortal causes believe about Gaza? Why would mortal causes, or why would vampires care about the war in Ukraine, or this, that, or the other? Well, because a lot of vampires were human until very recently, and vampires still live in a mortal world, and a lot of mortal crises still affect vampires at a fundamental level, whether that is prejudice based on skin colour or faith, for example, or whether it is because you know people who also happen to have that skin colour, faith, or sexuality. There's a lot of reasons a vampire will still care about human politics. And Rudy is someone who does, at least at a surface level, but ultimately, the wave he rides, and he's very, very good at it, as far as Gangrel go, he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. That is his concept. He is still a wolf. He is still a Gangrel. But he is very much in sheep's clothing. He wants to be underestimated. He wants other vampires to say the exact same things people like you, Rudy, are, when you're looking at him and thinking, how can this person exist? How can this vampire exist? Doesn't this just completely take the edge off of Vampire the Masquerade? No. He wants you to think he's soft, he's leftist, he's weak, he's pathetic, he's a minority within a minority. How can he have any power? Well, it's because that acts as the perfect cover to him being a predator. He is still all of those things, but he's also a vampire who was once a human. And as the author of Rudy, I make no apologies for his existence. Because I don't think all vampires should be hoary old predators in suits and in penthouses. I don't think all vampires should be mysterious and running Elysia. I don't think all vampires should be dedicated to their disciplines or following paths of enlightenment or anything like that. I think vampires should be as varied as humans are varied. And Rudy is the archetypal Gangrel because he is a modern Gangrel. He is the wolf in sheep's clothing. He preys on the herd that he hides within. That is how Rudy functions. So when you look at Rudy and you think, how could a character like this exist? Isn't this just some leftist's wet dream? No. No, I don't think... I think Rudy is an abominable character. I think Rudy is a terrible person. I think Rudy is preying on the people who look up to him. That is Rudy's function in the world of darkness. And if you don't get that, there is nothing else I can do for you. I've explained it all. I've given you the subtext behind Rudy, the social justice warrior who eats other social justice warriors. That's what he is. So hopefully that makes some sense to you. And if you want a video explaining any decisions I have made in RPGs, pick up a copy of The World Below in hard copy. You can go on over to DriveThruRPG or backakit.com. They are both linked below. Order a hard copy, contact me through MatthewDawkins.com. There's a contact button on the website. Tell me your order number and request your video. Buy an RPG, get a video for free, and I will be seeing you next time.